on tap. It's the nightcap of this doubleheader in the GCL-South. It's Moeller, it's Elder, next on Chatterbox Live. Along with the mighty one, Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Glad to have you along in the first game of this double dip. It was a 4-1 win for LaSalle over St. X. Nick Heffron went the distance on a six-hitter, striking out 4 and getting only a run to give up after a big effort by the defense, or rather the offense of LaSalle in the late innings. Reid, as we look towards this ball game here, the number one team in the state's to feature right now, and we can't wait to see them here as the Moeller Crusaders will take the field against the Elder Panthers.
Yeah, these aren't only two league rivals. One team's number one in the state. These are probably the two best high school programs in the state of Ohio. Elder has the most state championships, I think like a number of 14, and then obviously the talent that comes out of Moeller year in and year out, the Bells, King Griffey Jr., Barry Larkin, Brent Suter, as you like to remind me. I actually was listening to the Cubs game last night, and Boog Sciambi brought up Moeller and the talent that's come from this Crusaders, and boy, do they have a talented bunch right now.
They certainly do. The last time out, the Panthers ran its winning streak to 5 on Saturday. They swept a split doubleheader against Bowling Green, 15-5, and then again in the nightcap against Louisville St. Xavier, 1-0. Luke Vaughn hit 3 doubles, scored 3 times and drove in 4 in the opener. Atticus Wood was masterful in the nightcap. He went the distance on a 3-hit shutout, striking out 7. Meanwhile, the Crusaders ran its winning streak to 7, beating Connor last Thursday, 15-8. Nate Early and Conlon Daniel each went deep. Moeller has scored double digits now in each of their last 3 games, so they're on a roll.
Yeah, Luke Vaughn, you mentioned that name. This is a name that I've been hearing about for years now. The catcher from Elder from the west side. You know, I have an affinity for guys that play the backstop, wear the tools of ignorance, and Luke Vaughn's a name that I've been hearing for years. Haven't got to see much. Truthfully haven't, and I'm excited to see him. He's having a great year, and he's a great ball player. And
he'll bat third tonight in that Elder lineup. This is the second of a 3-game series between Moeller and Elder this season. The Crusaders shut out the Panthers in the first game, 6-0, behind a combined 3-hitter by Toby Huber and Carson March. They'll play the final game of this series on Wednesday, just 2 days from now, on the 4th. Elder last won in this series on April 22nd last year, taking the 2021 rubber game 7-6.
Yeah, if you remember last year, Elder was constantly one of the top teams in the state. I think they were perennially right near in the top third, top 1, 2, or 3 throughout this season. Obviously, had a good team last year. They bring some guys back, not a whole lot from last year, but these are two teams that, you know, there's not a whole lot of love lost when they play each other. They're going to play each other 3 times. We're going to see the second game tonight. As
you can see the zoom in towards the head coaches, Tim Held, out on the right side. He comes in with a record of 333 and 78 in his 15th year. Mark Thompson on his left, 33rd year, 614 and 265. That is a lot of wins.
Yeah, combined between the two coaches, you'll be hard-pressed to find a baseball game happening today in the state of Ohio with 2 higher-regarded coaches than Mark Thompson and Tim Held.
Let's give you the starting lineups here in this ball game. First, for visiting Moeller at 16-1. They are 6-1 atop the GCL-South. As we mentioned, Tim Held's their head coach. C.J. Richard will lead off. He's in center field. Toby Huber bats second. He's at second base. Nate Early bats third. He'll be at first base. The cleanup batter is the third baseman, Blaine Schmidt. Charlie Niehaus bats fifth. He's at shortstop. Nathan Manley is the catcher. He'll bat sixth. Griff Cady bats seventh. He's the left fielder. Batting eighth is Connor Christensen. He's the designated hitter. Keelan Daniel rounds out the starting 9. He's in right field. Batting ninth, as we had mentioned. Once again, it's Richard, Huber, and Early in the top third. Schmidt, Niehaus, and Manley in the middle. Cady, Christensen, and Daniel to round out the starting lineup. Max Tramontana will take the mound tonight for Moeller. On the other side, for the Elder Panthers, at 10-5, 3-4 in the GCL-South. Mark Thompson, their head coach. Kevin Hilton will lead off at second base. Jack Lambert bats second. He's in right field. Batting third is the catcher, Luke Vaughn. The cleanup batter is the shortstop, Jeremy Ward. The DH is Will Jansen. At first base, batting sixth is Ben Schuster. The seventh place hitter is the center fielder, Chris Kamerer. In left field is Will Summers, batting eighth, and batting ninth is the third baseman, Braden Curlis. Once more, it's Hilton, Lambert, Vaughn. Ward, Jansen, Schuster in the middle. And the back three are Kamer, Summers, and Curlis. Their starting pitcher tonight is Alex Riesenbeck. Game time temperature, powered by Bartell's Heating and Cooling. Time now to check your air conditioning before it gets really hot out there. 71 degrees, 44% humidity. The winds west-southwest at 3 miles per hour. As you and I, Reid, are looking at the flags, they are dead here in the stadium.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of place for wind to come into this stadium. It's kind of down into a pit. We're sitting up higher. It just kind of blocks all the wind, especially the stadiums and the arena that box in this great stadium.
The uniforms, the description's powered tonight by Headline Sportswear. As we look towards Elder on our left, they are adorned in the home whites. So they've got the what looks like the deep purple numerals. And as we look to the other side for Moeller, they've got the really pretty deep blues tonight with the gold piping, stripes, and numerals.
They look like pajamas. Not a fan of the different colored pants, but always good to see that blue. Moeller or Elder's uniforms looking sharp. Pinstripes will always have a place in my heart.
We do tend to agree to disagree quite often here on this program. So Moeller and Elder, as we're seeing Moeller getting introduced right now, and that's a nice touch. I think that really does tell you just how special this set of games are here tonight at UC.
Yeah, we talked in the first broadcast, me and Nathaniel did, about the Reds high school showcase, and the Reds ownership is catching a lot of flack right now, and maybe rightfully so, but one thing that they do well is the outreach in the community. This high school showcase that they put on every single season is top-notch, getting all these teams to play at big league stadiums, college stadiums. Some even get to play at Great American Ballpark itself. It's as good as it gets, and to have two GCL matches right here on one of the best college fields in all of America is top dollar.
And it is a gem. 325 down the lines, left and right, 400 to straightaway center. We've got 15 or 16-foot walls, depending upon who you ask, out in the outfield, and that batter's eye is gorgeous. Reid, you were a hitter in your day. Imagine if you're here in this ballpark, and that's what you're staring at when you're staring at the pitcher.
Yeah, So Elder, actually, funny enough, their hitters will probably like this batter's eye. Their home field's up on a hill, and the only thing in the outfield is one small tree. So with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, you're just staring at sky. The pitch is coming out of the sky, so it's tough to hit up there at the Elder or the Panther Athletic Complex. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a hitter's delight to see this big batter's eye.
I have to ask you as a side note, does that make Elder's home field a pitcher's park by that notion?
I don't. I've played there twice, and I hated both times I played there because I felt like I couldn't see the ball at all. But I would need to see the numbers to fully call it a pitcher's park.
So as we get a gander at Moeller on the first baseline, we will get a look now at Elder coming on out here momentarily. While we have some time, want to set a little history lesson in regards to both teams as far as this season's concerned. Moeller started the year in March 2-0. They outscored their opposition by 20 runs. And then in April, as we just finished up the month just 2 days ago, Moeller went 14-1 last month in April. They outscored the opposition by 80 runs, 115-35. That's a lot of punch.
Yeah, that's getting it done. That's not just winning games. That's dominating games. That's going out there and being the better team on the field every single time you go out.
On the other side for Elder, 1-1 to start off March, and then they went 9-4 in April. And while it looked like maybe about 2 weeks ago where you didn't know what kind of Elder team was going to come out, they've run off 5 in a row, partly because Braden Curlis has entered the lineup. He's pitched a little bit. He's now seeing time at third base, and while the average 231 does not speak to his contribution, perhaps, it's kind of like the timing has been right for Curlis in that he entered the lineup and all of a sudden Elder started winning. Don't break the streak.
No, absolutely. You get a guy and it can be a spark plug, right? Just having a different guy in the lineup just breaks up the mundane. And you ask any coach in America when they want to be playing their best ball, it's in May. This is when you're rounding out the league titles. This is when you're getting ready for the tournament. This is where you start your tournament run. And this is where you get to play in big games like you do right now at UC Stadium. and it's going to be a good one tonight.
And as we look towards May, as we have the first game of May for both teams, they'll have 9 games left on the till all the way until Saturday the 14th. 9 games in basically 13 days is a lot, and then you get a few days, and then you start in earnest with the sectionals.
Well, we talked about this, when we did the Baden-Moeller game, is how far behind these high school teams were. They were a month into the season and had only played 10 games because of the weather. It was raining every single day. And all of a sudden, you look at these teams' schedule, we got to play 18 games in about 3 weeks. In about 21 days, we got to play 18 games, and they're just rattling them off. Anytime the sun's out, you're getting out on that diamond, and you're playing 7 innings.
We're getting a look right now of the overhead view, and boy, it's gorgeous. I mean, this is going to be a spectacular sunset. Dusk here is going to play very well. One of the things in talking with Tim Held prior to this ball game is we were talking about the weather conditions that we mentioned maybe just a few minutes ago, and the thing that he was most happiest about, no sun in his eyes in the first base dugout.
Yeah, that's certainly got to be something. Playing late at night, you don't have to deal with the sun at all. And emotion just popped into my mind about getting to play on this turf here. You got to give a slight advantage already to the team that's going to be the number 1 team in the state because their field's turf, right? It's new to them, but you just get more innings, more practice out on the turf. You got a better chance of playing.
A spectacular view. The Fifth Third Arena in the backdrop off to the right side of the right field side here. And let's give you the starting pitchers and kind of a battle between 2 right-handers tonight here. As you see, Alex Riesenbeck is on the hill right now. 5'10", 170 pounds, a senior. He's a right-hander. He's making his 4th appearance, his 3rd start. He's pitched 11 innings. He's given up 9 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. He's 1-1 coming into this ball game with a .64 earned run average. That is significant. His mound opponent tonight is 21, Max Tramontana, a fellow right-hander at 6'1", 180 pounds. He's a senior. He's making his 6th appearance, his 6th start. He's completed 1 game, a shutout. He's pitched 27 2/3 innings, 17 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned, 9 walks, and a conference best by far, 44 strikeouts. He is 3-0 on the season with a fine 1.77 earned run average. So it's Riesenbeck against Tramontana tonight, and it should be a good one here in Cincinnati at what used to be called, by the way, The Shot.
Yeah, formerly called Mark Schott Stadium. Changed the name a few years ago, but I'll ooh and all about this great stadium. And I'm just watching Riesenbeck. You're talking about the starting pitchers not too long ago. Riesenbeck having a great season. Not too many innings to this point in the year, but still has a sub-1 ERA, so he's doing a great job. But just watching him throw, he's got a kind of interesting arm motion as he comes to the plate. He short arms it, then reaches all the way back. You see a lot of pitchers drop their hand. This is what you're taught. You're taught to drop your hand in your back pocket, hide the ball. One famous pitcher that did this, hit the ball really well, was Tim Lincecum. They said it just popped out of his hand. A Riesenbeck kind of reaches back. He doesn't drop his arm. He short arms it and reaches back. And I saw him warming up a lot on this changeup. He had a circle change that just kind of flew out of his hand, floated out of his hand. Something to keep your eyes on throughout the duration of this one.
So Riesenbeck on the hill, and we'll give you the book on him as C.J. Richards steps in. And the first pitch is taken for a called straight on the inside half, and away we go in Cincinnati. First pitch at 8:08 tonight. So strike 1 to the 343 hitting C.J. Richard, who missed 4 games. We saw the last game he appeared in, partner. It was the Baden game as he swings and misses 0-2.
Yeah, he went down that game, and it's been a while since we've seen him.
A bad hamstring. He had to come out of that ball game. He has missed 4 games since and has re-entered the lineup, and Tim Held was excited to have him back in. So Riesenbeck has him 0-2, and here's the pitch, and this one wasted outside, 1-2. It's Richard, Huber, and Early, the first 3 in this lineup.
Yeah, bounced that breaking ball on the 0-2 to Richard. I mentioned in his warm-ups he was really showing off that changeup to begin to really get it rolling. That's probably his out pitch.
1-2, and it bounces away, and we go to deuce.
And that's just furthering my hypothesis, as the first 2 breaking balls he's thrown have wound up in the turf, digging up rubber pellets. And now you got a battle.
Fastball sits in the low 80s. It goes with what you mentioned, the changeup and the curveball. Has good command. 2-2, and it's in play. Glove by the third baseman, and the easy throw for the first out of the ball game. Curlis to Schuster.
Yeah, good job by Curlis. One hopper, you're playing off the turf, so you don't have to, you can field it off the big hops more often than not. Curlis did a good job, just took one step back, moved to his left, and delivered a dime across the infield.
Mark Thompson has been pleased, especially with the starting pitcher. He's done a nice job in his last few starts, and that's just exactly the way he put it, as he goes to work on Toby Huber. And a little change of pace downstairs, ball one. Huber's a .362 hitter. He's hit a home run, has driven in 12 this season. Right-handed batter, one of the really good arms on this team as well, to double with Max Tramontana. Swing and a miss, we even up.
Yeah, he was well late on that heater. It's almost like he was ready for something else on that 1-0 pitch. Don't know what else he could have been looking for, but if I'm Elder, if I'm Vaughn calling the pitches, I'm going right back to number one.
And we'll see if he goes fastball here. Comes in straight and misses down and away just a bit, 2-1. Huber, as we mentioned, has been awfully good. In fact, the last time I saw him that I can remember was on the hill before the game against Baden, as he pops this one up into shallow right center field. And the right fielder, Jack Lambert, calls for it, and that's the second out of the ball game.
Yeah, just got him to pop up there, kept a fastball over the heart of the plate. Huber just got underneath it, sent it into shallow right field, and you can't ask for a better start to the game. When you're facing this Moeller team, you got to get the first two guys out before you get to the murderer's row.
Nate Early is the two-out batter, .344 his batting average. He's driven in 9 this season. Big, strong, lefty batter. As he waits, and another bouncer. And we've seen a couple of those here to start off this first inning. And typically when you think about pitchers missing early in a ballgame, you think they're missing high. He's missing low right now.
Well, it's just because he hasn't found his curveball yet. He hasn't found the release point on it. A lot of times it's either they can't get on top of it and they're missing well up, or they're gripping it too hard and trying to get too much spin, trying to control it too much, and trying to locate it, not just throw it.
Tonight's home plate umpire is Jeff Bailey. The base umpire is Andy Dillman. 2-0 here to Nate Early. He waits, he takes, and it's down low, 3-0. So I would imagine take all the way here.
Yeah. I mean, 2 away. You're probably getting the red light. Trying to get a base runner early in the ball game.
We'll see if he comes with the get-me-over fastball. And the fastball does get over, 3-1.
Yeah, there's really no reason to swing there on the 3-0 this early in the ball game. Nobody on base, so you're not going to be cheating the pitcher at all. Just trying to take the game one pitch at a time.
Riesenbeck with a 3-1. And it's off the plate, ball 4. So Early's a base runner, and that's the first base runner of the ball game.
Yeah, we'll see if he's up and moving with 2 away and the cleanup hitter on. They're probably going to want to get him in scoring position. I don't think maybe the first pitch, but, if Riesenbeck gets ahead in the count 0-1, 0-2, then you're assuming that a breaking pitch is going to come, and that's when you steal the bag.
Blaine Schmidt is the two-out batter with a man on, 33 hitter. He's driven in 12 this season as he pulls back and takes a strike. Schmidt, as we mentioned about 10 days ago when we last saw him, had a nasty collision with the young man at first, Nate Early, a few weeks ago, and he had to be out for about 4 games. He lost a couple of teeth in that game. Runner going. Here's a throw down to second. It's a bouncer and a stolen base for Nate Early, his 10th of the year.
Yeah, so you saw both the middle infielders for Elder. Neither one got to second base. That's indicative of the first baseman or somebody not letting them know that they're stealing. Vaughn can see the field. He can see that the runner's going to be going. His job's just to get it out to second base. The infielders got to hear something. They got to have a signal.
1-1. It goes down to the third baseman, Curlis, as he tosses across, and that's a side. So Alex Riesenbeck works around a walk, and we go to the bottom of the first. It's Moeller nothing and Elder coming up here on Chatterbox Live. To the bottom of the first we go here in Cincinnati. No score as Elder has set aside the top of that Moeller lineup, and now the Panthers will come to the plate. Kevin Hilton, Jack Lambert, and Luke Vaughn will face Max Tramontana. The book on Max, fastball rides 87 to 89 and has a 12-6 curve that, get this, drops from the letters to the knees.
Well, that's a good combo. I mean, when you're throwing up in the higher 80s and then you got enough spin, a 12-6 spin at that can break that much. You're a tough guy to score some runs on, and you just see him warming up. A lot of velocity and, a lot of energy out there on the bump.
Tim Held was very deferential to me because I was struggling for a comparison to understand the 12-6 curve and how good it was against high school hitters. And he level set it maybe perhaps against a Cy Young Award winner. If you remember Barry Zito.
Yeah.
So, and it's less about the quality of the curve and more about the quality of how he's getting batters out with that curveball.
Yeah, so you think of the two best curveballs that I've seen in the past 20 years of Major League Baseball. They both come from lefties who don't flame throw it, and they come over top. It's interesting as you're just seeing him throw it in this first inning is he doesn't come over top. That's where a lot of 12-6 break comes from. You got to get on top of the ball. You got to get that downward spin. He kind of throws 3/4.
Fastball catches to inside corner, 1-1. Kevin Hilton, a junior, batting from the left side, 311 hitters, got a home run and 7 runs batted into his total. Slightly open stance against an infield that's straight up against him. And the fastball must have missed a bit downstairs from our vantage point, and you mentioned this in the first game. Our vantage point doesn't lend to high-low. It does lend to the wide side of things.
No, it's like being at the top of the stadium. You can see everything on the inside and outside, but you can't be a fair critic on if it's at the knees or at the chest.
Foul back, 2-2. So we'll be relying upon our multi-cameras tonight as far as maybe perhaps trying to get that view of the drop from the letters to the knees. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him swinging for the first out.
Yeah, coming right at this Elder lineup. Not fooling around. He did throw 2 balls there, but man, just works with so much velocity. Look at the intensity of him on the mound, just staring down the batter. Even when he's off the rubber, getting onto the rubber, he's focused on the next guy.
Tramontana is a Lafayette commit as he takes the fastball. Jack Lambert does, and it's 0-1. Lafayette commit. His last outing against LaSalle back on the 25th. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, swing and a miss, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. He got the win against LaSalle on that 25th. That's 0-2.
Yeah, it works exclusively out of the stretch, too. Interesting enough, you don't see a whole lot of starting pitchers strictly go from the stretch.
Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
3 fastballs. I mean, that's just pure domination. When you're facing the top half of a great team in this Elder squad and you give them just 3 straight fastballs, you challenge them 3 straight times, and they can't even sniff it, you got some electric stuff.
Tramontana comes into the ballgame leading the conference in strikeouts with 44. He now has 46. The next man behind him has 24. In the first offering, and you hear him grunt for that first strike, 0-1. Luke Vaughn at the plate is a .318 hitter. He's got a home run and 17 runs batted in.
You can hear the pop of the mitt even with our headphones on. You can just hear. That's the kind of velocity that Tramontana has.
Max deals the 0-1. Fastball rides outside, 1-1.
This is the matchup you pay admission for. Luke Vaughn versus Tramontana.
Right-handed pitcher against right-handed batter. Here's the 1-1 from Tramontana. Here it comes. Check swing. He checked it in time on a pitch outside, 2-1. So Hilton and Lambert have gone down swinging on strikes. Vaughn at the plate, but he's ahead in the count right now, 2-1. Jeremy Ward waiting on deck. He's the cleanup hitter. 2-1. Fastball rides up and in. Actually, he might have taken a little off of it, but it's now 3-1.
And he's falling behind the Vaughn. Wrong guy in this lineup to fall behind to. Just working a little too quick right now. I mean, he worked with such vigor through the first two batters. He wanted to keep it going, keep the momentum on his side, and he's just fallen behind.
3-1 the count to Luke Vaughn. Tramontana deals, fastball rides up and Vaughn is the first base runner tonight for Elder.
He didn't take anything off on that 3-1. He stayed with the same intensity, even on a 3-1 count against Vaughn. He's not going to let up.
So I'm wondering and thinking about this. When you think about the repertoire, especially, you know, the real high degree of the good fastball riding high 80s, and then you got the 12-6 curveball, the fastball must have looked pretty snappy in the warm-up, and the fastball rides outside 1-0.
Yeah, the thing that interests me most about the way that he delivers the ball is it's almost a three-part act, right? So he comes set nice and paused, and then he jerks up real quick before slowing down, and he's stretching down the rubber, down towards the mound, towards home plate, and then it just jumps out of his hand.
Arm side fastball misses 2-0. Should Ward get on, it'll be Will Jansen, the DH. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball caught the black. It's 2-1. Jeremy Ward's a .421 hitter. He's driven in 11 this year. Both teams do hit well. I think that's a major understatement here. 2-1 the count. Got a piece of it, fouled back into the mitt of the catcher, Nathan Manley. And we're even up 2-2.
Look at the way that they're shading Jeremy Ward. He's a .420 hitter, a lefty, and the right fielder is playing directly in right center. They're giving him down the line, and that's part of the reason the velocity on the mound.
And the fastball rides outside. We go full. Well, part of it might be pitch selection, right? You know, if you're seeing and we've seen the fastball run outside on the arm side here in this at-bat. So that might be part of it, knowing the pitch selection. But the other side of it is maybe there's a thought, runner going, and ball four, that you can't catch up to Tramontana's good fastball right now. So the first two have reached by walks. We now have a runner in scoring position in Vaughn as Ward reaches, and now we have Will Jansen coming to the plate.
Yeah, the same thing that got Tramontana 2 strikeouts is the same reason that they have 2 runners on. He came right after, challenged the first 2 guys, he said, gave them nothing but heaters, and said, hey, you can't catch up to this stuff. Well, then he works with the same vigor to the 3 and 4 hole hitters, and they're a little more patient. He's not finding the zone, doesn't really challenge them a whole lot. And now he's got a runner in scoring position with 2 away, and Elder could sneak one out here all the way in the first inning.
There you're getting a look at Will Jansen, right-handed batter, steps into the box. So after the first 2 have struck out, the next 2 have reached, and the first pitch, swing and a miss on Jansen. It's 0-1. He wanted the downs on that one. Right now we're seeing the 3 true outcomes. We've only seen 2 of them so far, the walk and the strikeout. Jansen wanted the third and the home run. So it's 0-1. And the next offering, and the fastball caught the outside corner. 0-2.
Well, that just shakes your confidence at the plate. You come up empty on the first pitch you see, and then he just throws a heater right over the plate saying, hey, I saw you just come up empty the first time. You ain't hitting it the second.
We see 1-1 up on the scoreboard. It should be 0-2 after the swing and a miss on the first offering. And we are seeing 0-2. And thank you to the home plate umpire, Jeff Bailey, tonight. As we mentioned, Jeff Bailey has the plate. Andy Dillman has the field. 0-2 the count. The long look in from Tramontana to his catcher, Nathan Manley. Now he comes set. He deals, and the fastball down and away. Now it's 1-2.
Yeah, we'll see what he comes here on the 1-2. You blew a fastball down on the first pitch he saw. He took it 0-2. You went right back to it. Do you go back to it, or do you have plus breaking stuff? You can throw that at any time. We'll see if he throws it here.
1-2 the count. Tramontana deals, and this one got him on the inside corner. Inning over. So Tramontana works around 2 walks to strike out the side, and we go to the second. No score here in Cincinnati on Chatterbox Live. To the second inning we go. No score in Cincinnati between number 1 Moeller and Elder, along with the mighty one, Reid Mouse. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Mike Ackley and Alan Sims are our videographers tonight. And our favorite Moeller grad, Joe Meehan, is producing us tonight here as well. I wonder why he picked this assignment.
Well, I actually made him come here, but he wanted to anyways. And we have $10 on this game. We slid $10 underneath the keyboard over here. I've got the Fighting Altioras. He's got his Big Mo. So if later in this broadcast I start to seem like I'm a little biased towards the Panthers, you know why. There's a little stake in the game.
Right now they're holding their own, literally and figuratively. No score so far through one inning. To reset on the defense for Elder tonight. Will Summers is in left. Chris Kamerer is in center. Jack Lambert in right. Around the horn for the first, Braylon Curlis is at third. Jeremy Ward is the shortstop. Kevin Hilton's at second base. Brent Schuster is over at first base. Luke Vaughn is catching Alex Riesenbeck, who acquitted himself incredibly well in that first frame, Reid.
Yeah, he looked really well against the top half of this Moeller order. To see if he can do it again in the second.
Worked around a walk, induced 2 ground outs to third and a fly out. And he'll go to work on Charlie Niehaus, and the ball was just a bit inside for ball one. It's Niehaus, Manley, and Griff Cady, the 3 that will come up here in the visiting second. 1-0 for Riesenbach, and he deals, and this one popped up a mile high in the infield. The second baseman calls for it. Kevin Hilton puts him away.
Yeah, good job getting a pop-up. You know, there's nothing more deflating as a hitter. I'd rather strike out, I think, than hit an infield pop-up, because typically when you hit an infield pop-up, you just missed it, right? You just, especially one that high, you felt it on the barrel, just got underneath it, and there's nothing more deflating than that.
Nathan Manley to the plate, senior, headed to Wright State, 300 hitter this year. He's got a couple home runs and 11 batted in. Offers on the first pitch. The shortstop, Jeremy Ward, will throw him out.
Trusting his defense right now, Riesenbeck is. You know, five outs, all no strikeouts. Doing a good job at just drawing soft contact against, you know, some good hitters in this Crusader lineup.
Griff Cady is a 300 batter. Senior, batting from the right side. 300 hitter. Has driven in 11 so far this year. And Cady takes. It's a called strike. So says Jeff Bailey at home plate. 0-1. Should Cady reach, it'll be Connor Christensen. Down and away. 1-1. So we see quite a dichotomy, Reid, between the two pitchers. This one going with control and finesse, spotting, you know, to the corners, whereas there's no guff about Max Tramontana on the other side. Fastball rides, but caught the inside corner. I didn't know about that one. 1-2.
Yeah, just from up here, and that's we mentioned we can't really tell the angles on high-low, but we can see in and out, and that was well inside.
Here's the 1-2. Ground ball to the shortstop. Jeremy Ward will make it a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across here as we go to the bottom of the frame. No score in Cincinnati on Chatterbox Live. No score in Cincinnati between Elder and Moeller here on Chatterbox Live. So 2 really nice innings so far by tonight's starting pitcher, Alex Riesenbeck for Elder. And on the other side, we're looking to see Max Tramontana go and get his second inning of work, and he'll face 6, 7, and 8 coming on up. Reid, in the first part of the frame, back in the first inning, 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. I mean, you can't get more wild thing than that.
No, that's what we're going to see throughout this one. He's going to be aggressive the entire game. He likes his stuff. He believes in himself. He's aggressive out there on the mound, working with a lot of intensity. So he's going to continue being wild. He's going to give you the fastball. He's going to give you the heater, and he's got plus stuff. He's going to put it right over the plate sometimes and say you can't hit it. And also he's going to get so amped up that he misses the zone by wide margins.
Then Schuster, the left-handed batter, comes up. Fastball rides away, 1-0. Schoster, by the way, is spelled Schoster. As Mark Thompson gave me a pronunciation lesson here this afternoon. Here's the 1-0. And the fastball caught the corner, called strike. And, partner, at least that's in the same spot where we saw the last strike that you and I questioned at the top of the frame.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're talking about Tramontana's, the stuff that he has. This makes you feel incredibly uneasy when you're in the box. When a guy's working with this much velocity and you really have no idea where it's going, but he finds the zone enough to not walk every batter, that you can't get more unpredictable, you can't get more uncomfortable in the box than that.
Schoster's a 267 hitter. He's driven in 7 this year. And then a 2-1 offering. Got him swinging, 2-2. Schoster to be followed by Chris Kamerer and Will Summers. Should anyone get on, it'll be Braden Curlis in the bottom of the lineup. No score here in Cincinnati, 2-2. It's in the air, popped up a mile high into the shallow outfield. Calling for it is the third baseman, and back in on the dirt is Blaine Schmitz, 1 down.
Yeah, I'm surprised Niehaus didn't come over and make that play. He was there actually before Schmidt was, and still made it a little interesting. We'll see how, as the night continues, where it almost escapes the light, the shield of light, how unpredictable those pop-ups become.
Chris Kamerer, right-hand batter, takes the first pitch, and must have missed just a little off the plate up for ball 1. He's a .326 hitter with 8 runs batted in. Here's the 1-0. He shows bunt. Foul ball. I feel like, and I'm just from the naked eye there, partner, it looked like he went, got a piece of it, and got him on the rebound.
I think it got Manley on the rebound. Just foul tipped it. We saw Kammerer. He saw Schmidt down at third base playing behind the bag. He said, all right, let's try and steal a base knock here in the second inning.
Blaine Schmidt a step in on the dirt, on the grass, beg your pardon, and a little change of pace downstairs. And I think that's the first time we've really seen anything really slow tonight by Tramontana.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of them in the first inning, but we talked about the angle we have. He throws that with such velocity, it's kind of hard to tell, especially when it has 12-6 breaks, so we can't even see it, slide across the plate or anything like that. You've really got to be diligent on what he's throwing.
3-1 on a pitch up in the zone. Good hitters count for Kammerer, and he'll wait as he lines this one to the shortstop, 2 away. To reset the defense, Griff Cady in left, C.J. Richard in center, Keelan Daniel in right. Around the horn, third the first, Blaine Schmidt at third, Charlie Niehaus the shortstop, Toby Huber at second. Nate Early is the first baseman, Nathan Manley catching Max Tramontana.
I mentioned, well, I guess I didn't, but Manley has one of the best arms that I've seen behind the plate from catchers in the area. Vaughn's a fantastic catcher as well. We're seeing 2 of the best in the area go at it toe-to-toe.
To your point, he held the Baden running game in check 10 days ago.
Yeah, he has an absolute cannon. He really does. He sometimes struggles at the plate, but...
Bouncing ball to Toby Huber. And that's 2 no-hit innings on both sides. We head to the third inning. Reid Mouse will take you through the next 3 here on Chatterbox Live. To the third inning we go, and to take you through the next 3, it's Reid Mouse.
8-9-1 due up for the Moeller Crusaders in the top half of this third inning. Thank you, Geoff. Got a good one. 0s through the first 2 frames. 2 pitchers battling it out in a duel. We'll see if that continues. We saw a pitcher's battle in the first game. We'll see if we'll see one here, and to this point, it looks like it is. It's going to be Connor Christensen, Keelan Daniel, then C.J. Richard due up.
Elder and Coach, your thoughts on your team's performance so far through this one? Well, we're facing an awfully good pitcher. If he keeps getting that slider over along with that good velocity on the fastball, we're going to have to try to get the pitch count up and get to him a little later. He's throwing well.
As a coach, talk about the opportunity this is for your kids to play on a Division I field against really good competition in an environment like this.
It doesn't get much better than this. This is what high school baseball is all about. This environment, this facility, this opponent, this is what you play high school baseball for.
Awesome. Really appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.
Guys.
Thanks, Patrick. Getting down there with Mark Thompson of the Elder Panthers. Wasn't sure if Patrick was ready, but he'll give an interview of Moeller's head coach Tim Held later this inning. 1-1's the count to Connor Christensen. He's designated hitting today. Riesenbeck has done a good job at keeping these Crusaders on their heels through the first 2 innings. Called strike brings it to 1-2. Gets the sign from Vaughn. Kicks, deals. Hit into left center field, found a barrel, and that's a base knock for Christensen. So Kammerer brings it in. A 1-2 base knock as Riesenbeck, the first time, shows a little bit of control issues, leaving one over the heart of the plate in a pitcher's count.
Well, at some point, you can only get away with it so long, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you see a pitcher for the first time, as we're getting a look at this one right here, but you can only do it for so much to be able to put one over the plate and say, hey, go ahead and hit me, because at some point, opposing batters are going to hit you.
Yeah, just left the breaking ball too high at the chest level. So 1 runner on, nobody away as Keelan Daniel steps into the batter's box. 1 pickoff attempt almost goes over the hands of Schuster. And you hear the dugout on the Moeller side. They like to keep animated. They like to get in your head a little bit from the dugout. Now the key for Elder, if you want to quiet them down, is you want to get a big lead and watch them pipe down a little bit as you see Christensen working happy dance, working with his feet over there at first base.
He's got 6 stolen bases so far on this season. Now, that's a nice weapon to have at the bottom of your order, batting 8th tonight.
So Daniel takes one on the outside half. He's a 286 hitter on the young season, or I guess it's not so young anymore.
It just feels that way, right? With all the rain outs and snow outs.
It's a 6-week season, so it just catches up on you. We're used to a football season that lasts a while. Basketball, of course, lasts months as Daniel puts the butt down. Vaughn comes out from behind the plate, throws it over to first for the first out. A sacrifice puts a runner on second base and 1 away.
Nice sacrifice, by the way, by Daniel. Goes 2-3 on the outplay. But the hard thing, one of the hardest things to do is deaden a baseball with a round bat against a round ball, and you're hitting it square into the ground and deadening it. So he did a great job on the sacrifice.
Yeah, you got to catch the ball, right? And you see all these drills that come out in baseball. One that I've seen become a little popular is actually have a bunting drill with a lacrosse stick. So you catch it in the net of the lacrosse stick. C.J. Richards steps in. He grounded out to third base the first time around, takes it ball 1. Got a runner in scoring position for the first time. See if Moeller can bring him in and get a 1 up on the board. Riesenbeck comes set. He'll deal. In there for a called strike on the fastball.
And that's that inside strike. If you're a right-handed batter like CJ, that's that inside strike that you and I have called. So it seems clear that the home plate umpire tonight, Jeff Bailey, is favoring that left side batter's box.
1-1 the count, 1 away, 1 runner on. It's Christensen out there at second base. Riesenbeck checks on him twice, and this one is hammered to deep left center field. They're giving chase. Underneath it is Kammerer, and he'll get it in after getting the second out. So C.J. Richard hammers that one, but in the big outfield runs out of room. Luckily does move the runner up to third, so just 90 feet away, though with 2 outs.
Well, a good point, Reid, right? Because we do talk about this being a college field where it's 400 to straightaway center. That was out in that alley where it's 370, and it plays deep, and tonight it plays really deep because the wind is completely dead.
So Huber will step in. He popped out to right his last time. If he can come up with a 2-out hit, he'll give Moeller a lead in this 3rd inning. 90 feet away is Christensen. He led off the inning with a base knock. Now they're trying to cash in. The first pitch to Huber misses downstairs, 1-0.
Your game with Nathaniel back in the first between LaSalle and St. X feels like it's gone about the same way as this one's going right now.
Pitchers duel through the first few innings. Few base runners. Nobody's cashed in, though Moeller can get a run. With just one swing of the bat, it's 2-0. Huber finds himself in a great hitting count. Riesenbeck comes set. He's still working out of the stretch, even with a runner on third. As this one's hit into right center field, base knock. Moeller's up 1-0.
Good job by Huber. Got a pitch to hit right over the heart of the plate and drove it the other way. Situational hitting there for Huber. He gets his 17th, beg your pardon, his 13th RBI of the year.
Yeah, great job taking the pitch right where it was hit, sending it over to right center field. So 1-0 our score. And Moeller's still threatening with a runner on and 2 away.
By the way, Huber has the green light at any time.
Riesenbeck knows it as he checks on him over at first.
And talking with Tim Held, C.J. Richard and Toby Huber at the top of the lineup have the green light every time, all the time.
Made early. He walked his first time around. Big bat. Big hit. Left-handed swinger. Hits the ball hard more often than not. He finds himself down 0-1. Riesenbeck gets the sign from Vaughn. Turns his shoulders towards first before coming set. Looks down. Runner is moving, but early. Fouls one off. They'll have to reset. It's 0-2.
Those 2-out situations, when you have a runner like Huber who can go, get on second, and if it's a hit and run in a typical way, a base hit puts him on third, a double plates him and scores insurance.
The key in on a turf field is getting it on the ground in the outfield. If you hit a line drive in the gap, it's going to go all the way to the fence because the outfielders are just not going to get there in time. So here comes the 0-2 offering to early. Huber's moving. Out, pitch out. Vaughn's on the money and gets him dead red as that concludes the top half of the 3rd inning. Moeller gets one across as Huber brings home Connor Christensen 1-0. As we head to break, you're watching Chatterbox Live. Under the lights here on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, it's the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2 up for Elder, 9-1-2. Our very own Patrick Geshan is down there with Moeller's head coach Tim Held. Patrick, take it away.
With Moeller head coach Tim Held, and coach, your thoughts on your team's performance so far through this one?
I think the Elder pitchers got us a little rattled, a little off balance. So good to see that we're getting some better swings here the second time through the order and scratch one out there and get a run on the board.
Such a good season for you guys, just one loss on the year. What do you attribute to the success so far this year?
We've returned a ton of veterans from last year. We started 4 sophomores almost every day, and then about 60-70% of our innings are back from on the mound from a year ago. So that let us hit the ground running early in the year, and then that's just continued.
And lastly, as a coach, what does it mean for your players to play on a Division I field against good competition in an environment like this?
Anytime we play Elder is going to be a huge, intense battle. But then to put it in this environment under the lights here at UC and, with what Tom Gamble does and the Reds showcase and UC allowing us to play here, just takes the whole thing up another level. So just an awesome experience for these guys.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Guys.
Thanks, Patrick. Down there talking with Tim Held. During that, we saw Braden Curlis get hit by a pitch.
On an 0-2 count.
Yeah, 0-2 count. It was that Brender. We saw it warming up. Does break a little across the clock, not just 12-6. And here we're showing a bunt from Kevin Hilton. Fielded by the third baseman, Schmidt. He'll have it across the diamond for the first out. The sacrifice works. And a great play by Schmidt to boot.
Nice play by Schmidt, right? That's a difficult play. You're coming in, you're having to play that not quite on the dead run, but your feet are in motion. You're having to pick it up on the move and throw. You know, maybe if nothing else, he's taking lessons from Nolan Arenado. He's trying to be a third baseman in the making that way.
So now we'll see Jack Lambert with a runner on second base, one away. Tramontana. Runner is moving, but gunned. No, he didn't fully catch the ball. And we saw this a few weeks ago. Mainly throwing absolute dimes. Gets Schmidt, throws it to Schmidt, and has Curlis dead red, but they can't hold on. The helmet actually separates the ball from the mitt. And that's going to be a runner on third base and one away.
Yeah, we saw that in the Moeller-Baden game. Yes, twice.
Manly needs to take these boys out to dinner because they're not doing them any favors. Here's that replay once more. And look, out by 5 feet. Even the tag was put on him, but the helmet separates the ball and glove. Now we have an 0-2 count on Lambert. He's just trying to find a way to put it in play. Breaking ball, froze him. So 2 away now, and Luke Vaughn stepping into the batter's box. Moeller got a 2-out base knock to bring in a run. Now it's Elder's chance.
4th strikeout for Tramontana tonight. He's dealing.
Tramontana is certainly doing that. Vaughn, he walked his first time around. We'll see if he's eager early in this count. A fastball, overthrew it as it finds the outside. Ball 1. You can hear him grunt a little bit every time when he throws that fastball.
Which is him being loud, but it's also the acoustics in the building tonight.
The 1-0 misses up and in. Bring it to 2-0. Great hitters count for Vaughn.
Missed a little upstairs, but it was really close to that spot that's been getting the strike tonight by Geoff Bailey.
It's almost like a free throw. There's a little bit of noise, and right when the pitch comes in, everyone hushes. The 2-0's a breaking ball that finds the strike zone, brings it to 2-1.
Nice pitch. Took a lot of speed off of that one. Located incredibly well on the outer black.
Vaughn looking to find some outfield turf. Make this a 1-1 ball game. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on and missed. You saw Vaughn eager in the box, moving his feet as that pitch was coming in. Vaughn, a big batter.
Now, strategically, you're in a tough spot if you're Vaughn, right? Because you know that fastball has been his bread and butter tonight, but that you got to be concerned about the yacker. So if it comes out of the same arm slot, he's in real trouble. He's got to guess right.
Here comes the 2-2. Fastball, fouled back. We'll do it again.
Good job by Vaughn to just stay alive on that one. I don't know if he was really guessing on the pitch on that one as much as location, and was just able to reach out and grab a piece.
Here comes the 2-2. Runner 90 feet away, 2 away. Vaughn misses or takes it upstairs. Tramontana runs it full. And one thing you can notice is Tramontana, he grunts on his fastball. You don't hear him grunt a whole lot on those breakers. If you can distinguish that in your mind quick enough. Here comes the full count pitch. Breaking ball, freezes him, but he takes it for ball 4. Inside, and they'll put runners on the corners.
Third walk of the ball game by Tramontana. He had walked 2 in the first frame when he struck out 3. So, you know, he's wild in the strike zone tonight, right? Or maybe perhaps a better way to put it is effectively wild.
Yeah, so one pitcher that comes to mind having some success for a short stint was Ubaldo Jimenez. If you remember him in his Rockies days, he was all over the place, but 100 miles an hour. So when he did find the strike zone, it just made you so uneasy in the batter's box.
Jeez, was that about a decade ago now?
Yes. Jeremy Ward steps in. He swings at the first pitch. Comes up empty, 0-1. So runners are on the corners. Elder has an opportunity to maybe do something strategic on the first and third opportunity. Those typically don't turn out well against a good ball club like Moeller. 0-1's the count. Fastball misses on the outside half, leaving it up at 1-1. 1-0 our ball game. It's the bottom half of the third inning. Reid Malmstrom along here with Geoff Kim. Here comes the 1-1 as it's in there for a called strike.
Partner, right now I'm looking at the center fielder out there, and C.J. Richard. He's shaded over to the opposite side. He's not really truly playing opposite field, but he's shaded over that way because he's thinking if he throws fastball, he's not going to catch up to it, and he's going to get it in that side of the field.
Here comes the 1-2 breaking ball that misses. They're going to give Vaughn second base on the stolen base. But to your point, look how much open real estate there is down the right field line. The right fielder Daniels playing in true right center field. So you put one down the right field line, you're off to the races. Here comes the 2-2. Misses up and away. And to the effect, the battery knows that the outfield shading to left center field. They're working the outside half as well. They're working in unison.
Third full count of this ball game for tonight's starting pitcher Max Tramontana. Second here in consecutive batters.
Tying run on third, go-ahead run on second, the payoff. Sent over towards first base, tough play, doesn't come up with it, and that's going to tie up the ball game. Braden Curlis comes around and scores. Vaughn moves to third. Jeremy Ward coming through with the RBI, and you see it on the replay. Early, the left-handed fielder had to fully extend to come up and at least glove the ball. Probably prevented a run from coming around and scoring. But the game is evened up at ones, and runners still on the corner for the Panthers.
Partner, right now I'd call that a base hit, right? Because the first baseman had to come out almost a second, and there's no way Tramontana was going to get the first in time.
Certainly, as Will Jansen steps in, takes the first pitch he sees for a ball. And while we're talking about defensive positioning, Jansen, who was a day late on every fastball he saw as the 1-0, he's a day late again, brings it to a 1-1 count. Early has to hold on Ward over there at first base. And the second baseman, Huber, is playing pretty much at double play depth. Look how much open real estate is on the right side of the field. That's what Jansen's eyeing right now. Putting one on the ground right there as the 1-1 is in there for a called strike.
There's that curveball. Look at that. That was a beauty on that outer half.
90 feet away is the go-ahead run. Tramontana comes set, deals. Breaking ball misses, 2-2.
And we did hear that grunt that time, and we kind of knew at that point, hey, fastball for sure, but, you know, it did ride inside and not too far off away from that inside strike zone that Jeff Bailey's been giving tonight.
The 2-2 squibbed up the middle of the field. Niehaus will have it. He'll step on second for the third out. To the fourth inning we go. 1-1 our score out here at the University of Cincinnati. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. We are live from the campus of the University of Cincinnati. Reid Malmstrom along here with Geoff Kim. You're watching Chatterbox Live, the second of a doubleheader. The Reds High School Showcase featuring all four GCL-South schools tonight. LaSalle got the win over St. X in the first. Now these two teams looking to battle it out for superiority. Elder trying to give Moeller their second loss of the season. Moeller trying to keep it going as the top team in the state. 3-4-5 due up for the Crusaders. As Alec Riesenbeck's going out there for another inning of work.
Yeah, both pitchers have been incredibly effective tonight. I don't know if a second time around the lineup will change that. Right now, we might have seen a little bit of that in Tramontana, but I think part of that is part and parcel with the fact that he's giving up walks and he's extending pitch counts. I mean, he's had 3 full counts tonight. He's had, I believe, 3 walks to go with his 5 strikeouts. So that's just a lot of pitches.
If you want an analogy for efficiency at this point, Tramontana is essentially a Hummer while Riesenbeck is a Prius.
Both get you there?
Both get you there. It's a 1-1 ball game in the 4th inning, though Riesenbeck has saved a lot for later. So we'll see Nate Early step into the batter's box, the 3-hole for the Crusaders. He'll take the first pitch for a called ball, off speed.
Like we mentioned that Tramontana has gone full count 3 times. Tonight's starting pitcher, Riesenbeck, has only gone to a 3-ball count once.
Here comes the 1-0 as he falls behind 2-0, as Geoff has doomed Riesenbeck with the dreaded announcer's curse. Early, awaiting a 2-0 in there for a called strike. Now, Early was at the plate and was down 0-2 when Toby Huber actually gave him the kiss of death by not allowing that 0-2 count to continue, but ending the inning for the Crusaders by getting caught stealing by Vaughn. 3-1's the count as the 2-1 misses.
That's now the second 3-ball count tonight.
Like I said, you jinxed him. Here comes the 3-1 offering. Swung on and missed as Early was out in front of it.
By happenstance, the first full count tonight. So that's how much in control Riesenbeck's been tonight.
That's how much in control your jinx is of this ball game. Here comes the full count offering as it is fouled. See if it stays in play. It's trailing out of play towards the left field line. We'll do it again at full.
Just reached the stands. It's funny. When it came off the bat, it looked like it was foul for sure, and that's just how much a factor the no wind tonight has played. There's no push anywhere.
Yeah, just kind of dead air inside the bowl that is this stadium. So the payoff pitch. Due. And it misses low and away, a leadoff walk for the Moeller Crusaders. Blaine Schmidt steps into the batter's box. Nate Early on first. Schmidt, he grounded out to third base. Curlis will take another one-hopper, and so will Riesenbeck.
Right now it's been a pitcher's duel, as you had mentioned, by both teams, but both teams have really been prone to scoring, well, at Moeller much more so than Elder. Elder at 5.5 a ball game.
The 0-0 misses in the dirt. Early takes a big secondary, but goes back as Vaughn gobbles it up. 1-0's the count, and Riesenbeck, for 2 consecutive batters, has done something he really didn't do through the first 3 innings, and that is fallen behind hitters. And not a good time to do it as he's facing the middle of this Crusader lineup as Schmidt sends one over to Curlis. He's on the ground, throws it over to second. Do they have enough to turn it? Not in time, but a good stop and a good feed over to second by Curlis. 1 away in the top half of the 4th.
Outstanding spark, and in fact, he's one of the keys to that 5-game winning streak by Elder so far. He got in the lineup, and his presence in the lineup was just shown here on that nice stop and able to get the lead runner out.
So now we'll see Charlie Niehaus. He popped up in the infield. Schmidt's on first. Niehaus, the starting shortstop. Riesenbeck gets the sign from Vaughn. Kicks and deals. Curlis puts his glove up in self-defense, throws it across the diamond, and he calls him safe. Curlis got a screamer one-hopper. Fielded it. Here's the replay once again. Self-defense. Pirouettes around. Throws a dime across the infield, but not in time as the speedy Niehaus beats it out.
And he really just put up that glove in self-defense. I mean, that was pure reaction, nothing else other than that. And a great job. And again, a defensive spark. And you don't know where that spark will come from. But, here in the case of Elder here in the last week, it's come from the defensive side here with young Mr. Curlis.
So Thompson's taking the long walk out to the pitcher's mound.
Pitching coach, by the way, is Rob Thompson. That's Mark Thompson's son, but Mark's obviously out there here to relieve his starter.
What a short hook there for Riesenbeck, and we're going to see a new arm. So we're going to step aside for a short break. When we come back, we'll have a new guy to tell you about. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. Welcome back to the campus of the University of Cincinnati. Will Jansen in relief of Alex Riesenbeck. Geoff, what can you tell us about the new arm?
Jansen is a 6-foot-tall, 185-pound senior, making his 4th appearance, all in relief, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. That run is earned, 2 walks this year, no strikeouts. He's got a 1.75 earned run average. He's got a 1-0 record. Now, in his last appearance, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 hits and a run and a walk, but got the win against St. X back on the 25th.
So he'll inherit 2 base runners. Riesenbeck's day is done at 3 1/3 innings pitched, a couple of hits, a couple of walks, 1 run, 1 earned. He is on the hook for a couple more. As the first pitch Jansen throws is in there for a called strike. Now side armor Jansen is. He was already in the lineup. I believe he was the designated hitter, so he'll just enter the game.
Mm-hmm.
He steps off the rubber. 2-0-1. Manley grounded out to shortstop the last time around. Riesenbeck did a good job at getting Moeller off time through the early parts of this ball game. But Thompson didn't want to see him ruin a good start. So they'll go to the bullpen as the 0-1 is going to be fouled. Off the right side, we'll do it at 0-2. One our score. The go-ahead run out there at second base. Manley looking to give the Crusaders a lead. Here comes the 0-2 offering from Jansen. Inside, up and in. On the heater.
We can't close the book, but we'll tell you that Alex Riesenbeck pitched 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, no strikeouts.
1-2 the count. Jansen will offer. This one's flared out to left field. Not making the play is the shortstop. It'll fall, and that's going to be a base knock, as neither the left fielder nor the shortstop could come up and make the play. Ward couldn't, and neither could Summers.
4th knock of the ball game. It's going to look like a rocket in the box score, but this is one of those where you almost feel like that the 2 players were concerned about colliding in the outfield, and knowing a little bit of the what can happen out on the field, that hey, they just kind of gave way and let valor take over for discretion take over for valor.
And the first pitch Jansen throws to Griff Cady will find his spine as a run will score. And Moeller will take a 2-1 lead. So Jansen does his job in relief and gets the soft contact on the first batter he sees. The field doesn't make the play, and you saw Cady wasn't happy. And how could you be when one winds up in the small of your back, though he does get the RBI. So now we'll see Connor Christensen, and he got it going just last inning, came around and scored the first run of the ball game. He can break this one open with a ball in the gap. 2-1 our score. The first pitch he sees in there for a called strike.
That run charged to Riesenbeck, by the way. The runner at third is also Riesenbeck's responsibility.
Stepping off the rubber is Jansen. Finds himself in a tough situation. 3 Moeller runners on, and he's facing the bottom half of the order. Christensen looking to have a day as the 0-1 he sees. He'll foul off. He'll go out of play and out of the stadium. 0-2 our count.
It's funny, as a quick aside, when that story is told later, by, in this case, Christensen, that he hit one completely out of UC's ballpark, that's not a lie.
No, he did. That is the truth. Here comes the 0-2 offering from Jansen. Gets the sign from Vaughn. He was late on the swing, but he fouls it back 0-2 once more. So Niehaus on third. Manley on second. Katie on first. Bases are juiced. The 0-2 in the dirt. Doesn't get Christensen to offer 1-2.
Good discipline by Connor Christensen, by the way. I mean, it's easy to be hacking in that situation, but there's no reason to ground into an out or maybe even a double play to kill the inning.
So that's exactly what Jansen's looking for, either a strikeout or a ground ball. As this one almost gets away from Vaughn, he was thinking about back picking Katie over at first base. He holds on to it wisely, albeit. And we'll run it to 2-2.
Well, right now, this has all the makings of a big inning, right? Because when you have multiple pitches, you're fighting to stay alive in at-bats and continuing the at-bat.
As the 2-2 is going to be bounced up the middle. Ward steps on second, throws it across the diamond for a double play. A 6-3 double play. 2-1 our score here in the third inning. Apologies. As we head to the middle of the fourth inning, they do get one run. They're threatening for more, but we'll see here as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Patrick Geshan, what do you got for us down on the field?
Well, guys, there's a new chapter in Moeller baseball this season with the Crusaders opening up in their brand new home of Kremchek Stadium in Miamiville. The stadium had been in the works for several seasons, but finally became a reality this year after a groundbreaking in late July of 2021. Kremchek is a beautiful turf field and will eventually include seating areas for spectators, practice fields, and an honor wall. Moeller head coach Tim Held said the field draws excellent reviews from players and coaches who call it home, and said he still pinches himself when at the facility, realizing it's not a dream, it's reality. The stadium is the first building in the new Booker Athletic Complex site in Miamiville, which will host a variety of new Moeller athletic facilities on a 30-acre plot that was donated to the school. Kremchek Stadium is named after Dr. Edward Kremchek, a longtime Moeller team physician, and his son Timothy, who currently serves as chief medical director for the Reds. Moeller team physician, guys.
Thanks, Patrick.
A side note on that, one of our favorite guys, Kevin Zilch, is the resident public address announcer over at New Kremchek Stadium.
Yeah, he helped you out, called some games during the fall with you, did he not?
I would say he more than helped me out.
But Patrick, talking about Kremchek Stadium, you know, we talk so often about the prestige that is Moeller Athletics, and it is almost hard to imagine that they still don't have a football field, and for a long time didn't have a baseball field that was owned by the school. Now, they used to play at Crosley over there on 275, and then right across the highway they played right next to the Sycamore Township Firefighters. I forget what that field's called. That field was unique because it used to be having all grass infield. It just had cutouts in the dirt, which was unique, and they eventually did make that a full infield. But now Moeller has their own field. It is all turfed, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, and that's the way it should be, and well-deserved, right? You know, with a school and a program with such a pedigree. And, you know, it's funny. I had a chat with Tim Held back on Friday, and it was an early morning call, and he asked if I could call him back, and I said, what was going on? He's like, well, I'm working on the turf over at the new field. Good reason.
So Ben Schuster will lead off for the Panthers. And we'll see Chris Kammerer and Will Summers. 0-1's the count. Tramontana out there for another inning of work. He's been dominant, though he has let a few free passes get the best of him.
He's in line for the win right now with the go-ahead scoring in the last frame. And by the way, you can now close the book on Riesenbeck. 3 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, and 2 walks.
So the 1-1 is a bender that finds the strike zone. 1-2 here to Schuster. He popped out in the infield his first time around. Trying to fend off a strikeout here with a 1-2 count. Tramontana coming set, kicking, dealing. Fastball called, strike 3 on the outside edge. And that's the first out here in the bottom half of the fourth.
5th strikeout tonight for Tramontana. Second looking, I believe. No, the third looking, I believe. He struck out Jack Lambert looking back in the third, and he struck out Will Jansen, now the pitcher in the ball game for Elder, to close out in the first.
So now we'll see Kammerer as he takes the first pitch for a called strike. He lined out to the shortstop Niehaus the first time around. Got a good piece on that one.
Oh, he certainly did.
There comes the 0-1. Misses upstairs. Still working with a lot of intensity. Out there on the mound is the Moeller Crusaders starting pitcher.
Though I think the hardest hit ball that we've seen tonight is the one that Curlis had to defend his life on in the last frame.
From Niehaus. Just stuck his glove up. His reflexes were impeccable. 2-1's the count. There's the off speed, doesn't find the strike zone. 3-1 to the Elder center fielder. Tramontana, he'll come set, he'll kick, deal, find the strike zone, he'll run full, and another full count.
He had a good weekend, by the way. 4 for 7 over the weekend, a double, a triple, a stolen base, 2 runs, 2 RBI, and their doubleheader down in Louisville back on Saturday.
Here comes the full count. Swung on and miss as it is well late in another strikeout here in the fourth. So now we'll see Will Summers.
You think this is a little bit of a second wind here for Tramontana, maybe because he has the lead, but also keep in mind that first inning and change where he was just blowing gas, struck out the side in the first. I mean, he was really juicing it up there. He had 1 strikeout in the third after not striking out anybody in the second, and now has back-to-back.
First pitch that Summers sees, he'll flare up into shallow left field. Niehaus will call off the third baseman Schmidt, and that'll be the third out. 2 strikeouts and a pop out here in the third inning. We head to the top half of the fifth, but before we get there, let's check in on our main man, Patrick Geshan. Patrick?
Hi, Reid. Well, one of the longtime legends in Elder baseball is head coach Mark Thompson, and the accolades on this guy are impressive. 600-plus career wins as head coach in Ohio High School Coaches Association Hall of Fame inductee, and 2 state titles as Elder's head coach. One of the Elder Athletic Director Kevin Espelage told local media about Thompson that makes him special is how well he's been able to maintain the standard of Elder baseball throughout the 30-year-plus stint he's led the program. Espelage added that feat is as lofty as any in the country, while noting Thompson simply loves the game, he loves teaching, and loves being around kids. Thompson is just one of 21 Ohio high school baseball coaches who have reached the 600 career win mark according to the OHSAA, and has also led the Panthers to countless regional and GCL titles during his time as head coach. Thompson told me before the game what motivates him in coaching is simply the love of the game. He said, "Why sit in a recliner when I can be doing this? This is the best place you can be in the world, the most fun you're ever going to have." And guys, clearly he's having some fun here tonight with his Panthers leading this one 2-1.
So welcome back here, Patrick. To the point that he said about Thompson was, I think he might need a better recliner, because let's not completely discredit a good recliner here. I mean, I love baseball as much as the next guy, but I mean, at Great American Ballpark, they have those nice recliners. You can sit there and watch the game. It's the best of both worlds. But Mark Thompson, a legend not only at Elder, but in the entire Ohio high school baseball landscape.
A couple things about Mark Thompson. One, he was very kind. When I mentioned your name, he said that he remembered you when you played.
Oh, really?
And that he has so much respect for your dad, Mr. Mark Mouse.
Well, I think that his respect loses a lot of currency then, because I know my dad. I love my dad. I don't know how much respect he deserves, but regardless, I digress as Keelan Daniels steps into the batter's box. And also, I think that Thompson might lose a little credit as a baseball mind if he thought I was anything of a decent ball player.
But he had good things to say about you when we had our conversation today. And one of the things that we really kind of talked about, it was such an easy conversation. I don't know if I would call Coach Thompson gregarious, but he was very complimentary, and he's very conversational. Just a guy that you want to sit at a coffee shop with or go to a bar and grab a festive beverage with.
Well, something tells me a Catholic on the west side of Cincinnati would rather do the latter, but we're all here to have a good time as the 2-1 count to Keelan Daniel. Jansen misses on the outside half, 3-1.
Tim Held, by contrast, a little bit of a different personality, incredibly friendly in a different way, right? A little bit more statesman-like. But he's going to smile to your face and mean it.
As there's going to be a 3-1 miss, which will walk Keelan Daniel, a leadoff base runner, which is not what the doctor ordered for Elder, who's trying to keep this game at 2-1.
In fact, talking a little bit more about Coach Held, got a chance to talk to him on multiple fronts. I mentioned that I chatted with him last Friday as he was working on the turf out there. Saw him before the ball game. Met his son Alex, by the way. Wanted to say hello to Alex, who's not following in his father's footsteps. He's taking up swimming.
Maybe he should try a recliner too. I don't know why all these sports, as there's going to be a bunt that's going to get past the pitcher Jansen. Curlis comes over to try to make the play. He bobbles it in his glove, throws it over to first, but it's well late, and that's going to be a bunt single, and runners are on first and second, nobody away as we're getting to the middle half of this order. Here's that replay once more. The bunt. You see the pitcher, Jansen. Curlis comes over, can't fully field it.
By the way, you saw that speed on display, and that's the reason why Richard's a verbal to Ohio State.
So runners on first and second. Huber's up. We've seen him bunt in this scenario before. We'll see if he lays another one down here. They're going to let him swing as he takes the first pitch for a called strike. 0-1's the counts. And there's the bunt as it's taken for a ball, 1-1.
Huber's committed to George Mason. 0 for 2 in his last game against Connor, but also pitches. He threw 5 innings, got the win against LaSalle back on the 27th.
Here comes the 1-1 offering. Huber comes around, squares, takes a called strike, 1-2. He didn't want to bunt anyways. That was all a facade. He wants to swing away.
Can you blame him? He's a .362 batter coming into this ball game.
Not in the slightest. Runners on first and second, nobody away. Moeller trying to add on to their lead. Huber fouls one back. Huber had a single last time. He's the one that broke that 0-0 tie. 1-2 once more. Jansen comes set. Vaughn setting up. Fouled straight back. Again, we'll go 1-2.
Good job by Toby. Staying alive. He's fouling off pitches. He's fouled off a couple to the right, and then now fouled this one back in towards the screen. So he's on. He's just not on enough yet.
Jansen comes set. Looking for another double play ball. And he got one. Out to shortstop Ward. He'll flip it over to first base. Not in time as it gets past the first baseman. And around to score is Daniel. It's 3-1. So a run comes around to score on the fielder's choice, then the air.
So fielder's choice, 6-4. The E4 is charged, and that allows Daniel to come home.
So now there will be a runner on first, one away, and Nate Early stepping into the batter's box. Huber over at first base. Early takes a hack at the first pitch he sees, and he'll send it onto the streets behind the stadium here. 0-1's our count. Early, he's walked his first 2 times around. Has reached second base both times. The 0-1 misses 1-1.
Huber again over at first, and he's a threat to go at any time. As we had mentioned a couple innings ago, he and Richard both have the green light. And he's leading the team in stolen bases right now, 16 of them.
The 1-1 offering to Early as he takes another heart-healthy hack. As this one will wind up in the mezzanine here. 1-2.
So while you're paying attention to the plate, I'm looking at for Huber, right? You know, it's trying to see if the secondary lead shows that he will go or not.
1-2 offering from Jansen. Side armor. Works the outside half, and Early sends it in foul once more. And Jansen has done a good job at getting these guys in a well. A lot of 2-strike counts, but just can't seem to put them away. Doesn't have that get-them-out pitch. Let's see if he can find it. I imagine Huber will be moving in this scenario. We'll see if he is. We saw Huber already get caught stealing earlier today, all the way back in the 3rd inning. Let's see if that broke his confidence. They're going to check on him. This is a golden opportunity to run. You've got your 3-hole up. It's a 1-2 count, and he's just fouled off a couple of pitches. You know something off speed's probably going to be coming here. And probably a bad pitch, as Early takes another swing, offers at it, and fouls it once more.
Partner, something you said back in the first game, and this is a mantra of yours, I know. The longer an at-bat goes, the more it benefits the hitter at the plate.
Jansen doing a good job at keeping the count in his favor, though. And that's a 2-parter, right? He hasn't really given anything well out of the zone that you can just take. And Early's done a good job at fighting. As there's the fastball on the outside, misses, 2-2. And now it's starting to swing in Early's favor. You frustrate a pitcher. They get so frustrated when they just keep giving you good pitches and you're doing nothing but fouling them off. 2-2's the count. Huber taking a modest lead over at first. He's not moving. Early fouls one this time down the first base line. As that is, I believe, the 4th foul ball, 5th foul ball of the at-bat.
5th, yes.
Yeah, 5th foul ball. First time that he kept it in play and sent it down the first base line. We'll do it once more at 2-2. 1 away, 1 run already plated in this top half of the 5th.
Back to your point on this situation going to a hitter. The more pitches that you have to throw and you're laboring and you're also, you're psychologically hurt a little bit, right? It's like, hey, why am I not getting him out? Right? A mistake happens.
Ooh.
And that was nearly a mistake there.
All right, found the barrel, but fouled it off once more, and Early just showing why he's a big-time hitter. Everything that Jansen's given him, he's saying, I don't like that pitch, I don't like that pitch, and he's waiting on Jansen to make that mistake that you alluded to. Huber a little bit larger of a lead this time. He's staying put. 3-2.
And see, that's the frustrating part, right? Because everything that he's thrown in the zone, he's made contact with and stayed alive. And everything he throws out of the zone, Early's not chasing.
So the payoff pitch in the most truest sense of the phrase. 3-2, 1 away, as Jansen's going to step off.
Is this pitch number 11?
We're certainly up there. Here comes the 3-2. Runner moving. Ball hammered to left field. And given chase is the left fielder Summers. He'll have it. And retreating back to first is Huber. But man, Nate Early gave that one a ride as he put it all the way out to the warning track opposite field. Here's that swing once again.
Good swing. I don't know if he didn't quite barrel it up, obviously, as this one kind of hung as it got towards the outfield. And again, as we had mentioned, the wind conditions playing very, very neutral tonight. There's no wind to speak of, and anything that's going to be put out in the outfield is just going to die.
So Blaine Schmidt will step in, 2 away. First pitch from Jansen. Misses 1-0. As you hear the clock tower here on the campus letting you know that it's 9:30. We are fully in the darkness underneath the lights. As the 1-0's in there for a called strike in just blissful weather.
There used to be a television, I don't want to call it a commercial, but it'd be, a little snippet where you'd hear the chimes like that, and then you'd have a foreboding voice say, it's whatever time it is, do you know where your children are?
The 1-1 is a breaker that finds the strike zone, and Schmidt is down 1-2. Schmidt, he came around and scored in the 4th inning. Gave this team a 2-1 lead. Now they're up 3-1. The 1-2, and Jansen's 1 pitch away from keeping this game a 2-run deficit.
And he did a great job, by the way, of working out of that shot with Nate early. That was quite a battle.
Here comes the 1-2. Huber thought about running. Stops in his tracks. The ball is fouled out of play.
This goes back to your point about a lack of a put-away pitch, right? Because when we think of Max Tramontana on the other side, that fastball or that 12-6 yacker, that's a two-way stretch, especially if it's coming out of the same tunnel. Here, it's like, hey, if your fastball's not blazing or if you don't have the great yacker, you got a foul-off situation like this.
The 1-2 misses on the outside half, brings it to 2-2, and you're absolutely right. Jansen's a guy who induces a lot of soft contact unless Nate Early's at the plate. Then he hits about a 100-mile-an-hour liner to left field. But the 2-2, called strike 3, finally froze a man for a strikeout. Blaine Schmidt goes down looking. We're heading to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 3-1 here on Chatterbox Live. To the bottom of the 5th we go. 9-1-2 due up for the Elder Panthers. Montana out for another inning of work. His 5th. He's given up 1 run through 4, and the Crusaders have a 3-1 lead.
He's got 1 complete game on the docket this year. That's a no-hitter. He walked 3 in that game, struck out 9 against LaSalle, won 6-0 on April the 4th.
Ooh. About a month ago.
To another point, until he gave up this run a few innings ago, I had seen, I think, 9 innings in a row by Max Tramontana that were shutout innings and where he only gave up, I think, 2 hits total. I saw a 1-hitter along with Nathaniel Hipsley over at Miami University last year, also for a Reds High School Futures Showcase out there in Oxford. And then he had been throwing gas, obviously, here tonight.
Yeah, he's a fantastic pitcher. He's got a live arm. And, man, he's going to make a college coach happy someday.
Well, and he is committed to Lafayette. I think that's the way I understood it. And I'm telling you, I think about some of the guys that we've seen just in general this year. Nick Copenhaver over at Baden.
Yeah.
I know that you've seen Whitaker over at Evan Whitaker over at Lakota East. That arm talent is just about as good as theirs are.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I would say even better. As the 9-1-2's due up for Elder. Braden Curlis stepping in. He got hit by a pitch his first time, came around and scored. That's their lone run. He takes the first pitch for a called strike. He got the Panthers moving in the bottom half of the 3rd as it's 0-2 as he swings at one. Comes up empty.
And again, I really do think that Tramontana got a second win once he got the lead because he's been throwing gas.
Here comes the 0-2 from Tramontana, squibbed out to second base. Huber fields it cleanly, throws it over to Early. A 4-3 put out will get this bottom half of the 5th inning rolling. And we get to the top half of the order for the Panthers. Kevin Hilton.
The second baseman, number 4, Kevin Hilton.
He's 0 for 1 on the day and a sac bunt.
By the way, to prove a point here on just getting a second wind and being able to throw, and in this case, it's about getting ahead. He's thrown first pitch strikes on 5 of the last 6. And he throws a strike here.
Yeah, he's getting ahead, and that's the name of the game for both pitchers, for every pitcher who's ever taken that mound, is you got to get ahead of the batters. The numbers just don't lie. You've got to get that first strike. You ask pitching coach that, this has become a cliche, hey, what's the most important pitch in baseball? And he'll tell you it's strike one. So 1-1's the count here to Hilton. Struck out swinging all the way back in the first. Then he sacrificed as he'll have one into center field. Richard underneath it. He'll have it for the second out. So now we'll see Jack Lambert. He's down twice. 2 Ks on the ledger. Trying to avoid that. For what it's worth, the last batter that we've seen come up to the plate with 2 strikeouts, this is back to the first game, had a bases clearing triple as Lambert shows bunt, takes the pitch for a ball 1. They check on it, say he didn't offer out. So 1-0's our count. Here comes the 1-0. That misses. 2-0. Trying to get a little 2-out rally going. Jack Lambert trying to reach base, reach board, and get Luke Vaughn up with a runner on. The 2-0. Swung on and missed. Elder just can't seem to catch up to that fastball.
Oh, it's been crispy tonight. I mean, it's queso with a little extra.
2-0. 2-1, rather. As it's in there for a called strike, 2-2. Looking for his second straight 1-2-3 inning. Fouled back. So if he wants it, he's going to have to go 1 pitch further. Max Tramontana. He's throwing well tonight. Here on the campus, the University of Cincinnati. Here comes the 2-2 with 2 away to Jack Lambert. Brent Bender. This is upstairs. Full.
Fifth full count tonight. That's a lot of them.
Here comes the payoff. Kicks, deals, fastball misses upstairs. And the tying run will come up to the plate. And the best hitter in this Panthers lineup, Luke Vaughn.
So that walk here, and I think maybe I'm just looking at the situation, right? You know, you're in the bottom of the 5th. You got a 2-run lead. At what point, if you're Tim Held, do you start thinking about, oh, is this bullpen time?
Yeah, we'll see. I assume Tramontana will conclude this inning unless he gets in serious trouble as Vaughn hammers one into right center field. Giving chase is Richard. He doesn't catch it. 1 run will score, and Vaughn will coast into second on the air. Now, do we have the replay of this? Run it back. So check out the right fielder. Daniel is there well before Richard gets there. Richard's coasting. Daniel could have had that all day. Instead, Richard doesn't squeeze it fully. It's a 3-2 ball game. And the tying run 180 feet away, and Luke Vaughn.
Oh, and again, this is a case of when you start thinking about the bullpen. Not that Tramontana doesn't have the stuff, as we're getting another look here at that swing. And to that point, good swing on the ball, good contact. It did hang in the air a bit. Again, if the wind was blowing out, that would have been extra bases.
The first pitch to Jeremy Ward swung, fouled straight back. 0-1's the count.
Instead, it should have been, I don't want to say a routine out, but to your point, the right fielder Daniel was there. C.J. Richard was closing in, and had he just closed the glove, we'd be out of this inning.
2 away, 1 on. It's a 3-2 ball game. Tramontana trying to keep this game right where it's at. The 0-1 to Ward, misses inside, a fastball, 1-1. Ward, he has not been out today. A single back in the 3rd inning. He walked in the 1st. He's got Tramontana's number to this point. Here comes the 1-1 as it's squibbed out to second base. Fielded is Huber, thrown over to first, and that will conclude the bottom half of the 5th inning. Though Elder does get one back, it's a 3-2 ball game. We're headed to the top half of the 6th. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. Welcome back to UC. Reid Mouse joined along here with Geoff Kim. It's the top half of the 6th inning. And Geoff, back to you.
Thank you, Reid. To reset, after a couple of scoreless innings, Moeller got the first run on the board in the top of the 3rd. Elder answered back in the bottom frame, and then Moeller has scored twice since then in the top of the 4th and the 5th, and then Elder on the error in the outfield has just answered back, and we now have a 3-2 ball game. So a close encounter here in Cincinnati over at UC's baseball stadium, and it's a beauty here in this one. One of the things that I took notice of coming on into the ballpark is the retired names on here, and you have one who's a notable Major League Baseball player, Kevin Youkilis, who was an outstanding player here, obviously won a world championship with the Boston Red Sox, and will be forever beloved in Beantown, but that's also the case here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, graduate of Sycamore High School, actually played for a high school coach that we brought up earlier, Mark Mouse, in the summer season. My dad got to coach Kevin Youkilis back there in the mid-90s. Uke, obviously a great ball player, now part of a fantastic athletic family, as he married into Tom Brady's family, strangely enough.
I think we have a new pitcher on the hill. So I think it's 19, Jeremy Hill at 6'1", 165 pounds, a senior. As he throws the first pitch, the sophomore turn pitcher, beg your pardon, the shortstop turn pitcher, and this one is strike one.
Yeah, Ward having a good day today, now trying to close this thing down or keep it right where it's at.
Fly ball into right. Jack Lambert, one out.
You know, you mentioned the names out there on the UC alum. Kevin Youkilis up on that board. There's one notable University of Cincinnati ball player that is noticeably missing out there. That is the Sandy Koufax.
Oh, that's right. Trying to see, as Ward is into the ball game, if who took his place in the lineup, if it was Will Jansen. And it's ball one. Ball one to Nathan Manley. Got a hit in his last time up, 1 for 2. Puts us in out of play, foul off to our right, and we even up. Manley to be fouled by Griff Cady. So Ward, if you have his pitching particulars, is making his 4th appearance on the hill. And a change, caught the inside black, 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's a good athletic pitcher. You saw him play shortstop, obviously a great hitter, the cleanup guy. He's got a lot of velo, just a good athlete.
Check swing, did he go? He apparently did, and that's a strikeout.
Yeah, he pretty clearly went there. Breaking ball in the dirt. He turned his shoulders. That's almost a dead giveaway for an umpire. If you turn your shoulders at all, they're going to call you for it 99% of the time.
So Ward, by the way, making his 4th appearance. 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, none of them earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. 0-1 his record, and nothing on the ERA, strike 1. Strike 1 to Griff Cady. Was hit by a pitch his last time up. He puts this one foul off the first base side and just past the first base dugout, 0-2. When he got hit by a pitch a couple of innings ago, he was visibly upset going on down to first base.
Like you said, like I said back when it happened, no one's going to be happy about a fastball winding up in your spine.
Swing and a miss. And the side set down in order by Ward. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. 3-2, Moeller with the lead here on Chatterbox Live. 3-2 here in Cincinnati as number 1 Moeller continues to lead over Elder in this GCL-South battle. Along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here On Chatterbox Live, Mike Ackley and Alan Sims, our videographers tonight. And the Moeller grad himself, Joe Meehan, is producing us here. We've hoped you enjoyed this doubleheader. We've had a good one here in this nightcap. The first game of this ball game, Reid, that you had with Nathaniel Hipsley.
Yep.
LaSalle won it over St. X 4-1. Nick Heffron went the distance on a 6-hitter, striking out 4.
Yeah, it was a great ball game. Two fantastic starting pitching performances. LaSalle just got a little bit of the better of them. And LaSalle getting a big win, got to 500 because of that win. And we're seeing a good game here. And I'll tell you what, it felt like Moeller's been in control of this ball game throughout. But I kind of like the way that the momentum has switched to Elder's side.
And the first pitch for ball 1. Trying to see who's at the plate. Brady Omer is at the plate, 6'3", 380 pounds, a junior. So he's in pinch hitting. Tramontana deals, and that's a strike, 2-1.
All right, now you got to go. Down a run, pinch hitter. Take what he gives you here.
Tramontana deals, fouled back to the screen. We're even up, 2-2.
That's a nice swing. He kept his head on it the whole time. Now you find yourself in a 2-2 situation. He's got to come at you.
He's in the spot that Will Jansen was in, who started as the DH, came in to pitch, and I'm guessing that's whose spot he took, and he lines a base hit in the left. And that's just the second base hit tonight for Elder.
Coming off the bench, facing a D1 arm, a flamethrower, and you send one to left field. That's a great piece of hitting. And I told you, the first pitch, the first swing that he had, he fouled one back. He was on it. His head was right on it, just barely missed it. Got one more fastball and sent it with a leadoff base runner.
Throw over to first, and back with a head-first slide is the newcomer Omer. So Omer improves upon his 167 batting average. He had been 2 for his last 12. They show bunt, and the pitcher picks it up. No play at second, and the only play goes to first.
So it's funny that exact play happened right there, because this is what we saw in the first inning, the first game that we saw. LaSalle went to bunt after St. X took a 1-0 lead. They get a base runner on. They go to bunt, and the pitcher tries to make the play out at second base. Don't try to be a hero. Take the out, even though it was bunted right back to Tramontana. He just made the out at first base. Now you go to work, getting the next two guys.
Chris Kammerer waits, and that fastball, and the grunt, of course, by Tramontana, and it's 0-1.
I think the more he grunts, the harder he throws. It's like a speedometer a little bit. Just he's running a little bit harder when he needs a little extra something.
There's an old joke, and I'll wait for this next pitch as he steps out. So the punchline, I can't remember the joke itself, but the punchline had something to do with the faster you go, the cooler you are. So whoever it was going as fast as possible, as Kammerer takes a called strike, must have froze to death.
0-2's the count.
So 2 quick strikes on the outer half. 0-2 to Kammerer with Will Summers waiting on deck. Runner at second, that's the newcomer Omer, who came in to pinch hit. Swing and a miss! Number 8 tonight for Max Tramontana.
That is just domination. That is authoritative on the bump by Tramontana. Just completely blowing it by Kammerer, and now with 2 away, Elder's got to find a way to get this run across.
So
Drew Edrich will come in and pinch hit. 6 foot tall, 108 pounds, a junior. Catcher, outfielder by trade. .417 hitter this year, 5 for 12. So right now, Mark Thompson's pulling out all the stops here to try to get the tying run to home. The tying run is Omer at second. The go-ahead run is at home plate. So Edrich, righty batter, waits. Tramontana And that one just missed down and away a bit, ball 1. So he had been on a streak, Tramontana, where we had seen him get first strikes on 6 of 7 hitters in the last frame, and a check back of second, nowhere to go for Omer. And then since then, as we look here, he offered a first pitch ball to Omer, and then you had the sac bunt by Schuster on the first pitch, and then he's had a first pitch strike in the last batter. And it's ball 1 here, and it's a high fly off the left side, foul, and in towards the stands, out of play.
Edrich was waiting on that fastball. Got ahead in the count. It's almost like he told himself before this pitch, hey, I'm going to get one here. Let's jump all over. It was way out in front of it. Pinch hitters have a knack for not letting the game come to them. We'll see what he comes with on this 1-1. The approach he adheres to.
Again, the check of second. Tramontana deals plateward. This one inside just a bit, 2-1.
You see that extra hitch right when the pitcher kicks up. Edrich just gets one more hitch in his swing. A little more movement than you like to see out of a hitter.
2-1 the count to Edrich. Tramontana deals, and this one check swing. He did not go. At least that's the appeal down to Andy Dillman, the base umpire. 3-1.
Yeah, if he was coming down the first base line, if Dillman was set up when no one was on base, he would have saw that all the way. That I do think he came around. Instead, it's a great hitter's count for Edrich.
So pinch hitters have been the story of this home 6th inning. Trying to get on the board here, and he takes a walk. So the 2 pinch hitters have reached here in this home 6th inning.
So now it's up to Curlis,
who has been a defensive gem tonight. He had taken some shots. It's almost like being in a boxing match.
Summers is going to re-enter into the game. Running once again for Edrich, so he just enters back in. But Curlis, you mentioned how he's been the spark plug.
He's kept his team in the game as he takes line drive down the line, foul!
And
no more than 18 inches away from being fair and a go-ahead score.
And did that get the crowd into this one or what? The entire purple side of the field was jolted, waited for that one. And it's just a long strike, and Tramontana's in the driver's seat.
Curlis was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd, came around to score in that frame, and has grounded out to 2nd, and fouled back to the screen, and just like that, it's 0-2 to Curlis.
2 heaters, fouled them back, fouled one down the line, and fouled one back. Here comes the big old yak.
Tying runs at 2nd, the go-ahead runs at 1st. Curlis at the plate, nothing in 2. So far, the pitch of the ball game right here for Tramontana. Here it comes, the 0-2, fastball rides high, 1-2.
Setting it up. The high fastball, just seeing if Curlis will offer at it. Don't be surprised if the big old yak comes here.
1-2 to count, and now the step off. Outfield playing slightly to pull with Richard just left of deep center.
Richard's playing in too.
Here's the 1-2. It's behind the batter, and everybody moves up 90 feet.
So that completely changes the complexion of this at-bat. Now a base knock gives Elder the lead.
So a wild pitch, and Curlis has 2 runners in scoring position on a 2-2 count.
And they're starting to feel a little bit of life. Tramontana can completely negate that with a fastball for a called strike right here.
The deuces are wild here in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss! And boy, Tramontana got out of that one. We go to the 7th. A beauty here in Cincinnati tonight. 3-2 Moeller here on Chatterbox Live. A beauty here in Cincinnati tonight, along with Reid Mouse. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. Number 1 Moeller leads 3-2 over Elder, but it's not without trying right now. Elder was set aside here in the last frame, and boy, we had quite a battle. The battle of the night between Curlis and Tramontana, and Tramontana won that one with his 8th strikeout.
Yeah, Elder gave it all. You know, I felt going into the last half inning that as you're seeing that fastball one more time, just a high heater, would have been a ball 3, got him to chase. But I kind of felt as though Elder got a little bit of momentum back on their side, and that strikeout in that situation put it firmly back in the Crusaders' hands. Not only is the lead in their hands, but the momentum is too.
So another inning of work for Ward as he throws plateward and deals a strike to Connor Christensen, 0-1.
Ward's a good arm. He's a good ball player. We've seen him play a nice shortstop. He's done well with the stick, and now he's trying to keep this game a 3-2.
Off the plate inside, 1-1 to reset. Moeller has the lead, 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, 4 left on. On the other side for Elder, 2 runs on 2 base hits, 1 error, and 7 left on. Bouncing ball to the shortstop. 1 out.
Curlis still doing it, not even at third base anymore, now playing shortstop. Gets it on the easy hop. Gotta love playing on turf.
Number 3, Daniel.
So here comes Daniel, who walked and came around back in the 5th inning. And right now, that's the deciding run.
Absolutely. I mean, back in the 5th inning, I'm looking at the scoreboard, and one thing is painfully obvious. No crooked numbers. It's a binary code up there. Bunch of 1s and 0s. And that's the key to a ball game, right? You got to get the big inning.
Strike 1 to Keelan Daniel as he takes on the outside black. Good pitch, 0-2.
Oh.
1-2.
Now, what's surprising about that is he's been calling that pitch throughout the entirety on the left side of the plate. I mean, he's got a much better look than we do from up here, but it certainly looked to fit the bill.
The Finley commit waits. Here's the 1-2, and this one wide of the plate this time, 2-2.
The Oilers.
Yes. Who have quite a pedigree in basketball, if I recall.
They do.
Bouncing ball past the shortstop, and Keelan Daniel gets his first hit of the ball game.
Well, their pedigree's about to go up a little higher in baseball as Daniels had to put a nice ball game together. A sack bunt, got a free passes last time around, gave his team the lead. Now he's looking to give a little insurance. Here's that swing once more. Nice, smooth, found it on the turf, did a good job at just sneaking it through the infield.
6th hit of the ball game for Moeller as C.J. Richard comes up. He's trying to make up for his defensive miscue that's allowed the second run to come in for the home team Elder, and the first pitch misses bit inside. And again, to your point here, Jeff Bailey's strike zone, it might have changed a little bit here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it seemed to shrink just a tad. That might have been up.
1-0. There's a called strike, and to your point, that first pitch was a little up, 1-1. 1 out here in the 7th, 3-2 Moeller. Number 1 trying to hold on. Here's a step off. CJ, as we had mentioned, had a hamstring injury in the Baden game that you and I covered, and he sat out 4 games afterwards as he takes up and in 2-1. He has the distinction, by the way, of being the first Moeller player, not the first overall player, but the first Moeller player to hit a home run over at Kremchek Stadium.
There you go.
As he fouls one back to the screen, deuce.
He's a five-tool player, and you're seeing that as the season unfolds. A few times that we've gotten to see him. He's got the speed, got an arm, can obviously pick it, hits for a little bit of contact, and hits for a lot of power at times.
2-2 the count to C.J. Richard, with Toby Huber waiting on deck. Here it comes, and he got a piece of it. Got a piece of the catcher, too, as home plate umpire Jeff Bailey will come out towards the mound and give Luke Vaughn just a moment to recover. Ooh.
So there's a little bit of etiquette when it comes to pitching, or umpires and catchers, is anytime either the umpire or the catcher gets hit, it is just etiquette to go out and talk to the pitcher, give them a breather, because we're all working together, right? I mean, the catcher's trying to get more strike calls from the umpire, and the umpire is just trying to keep everything intact in his body parts, and he needs the catcher to block in front of him.
Vaughn seems to be all right, as Bailey will get back to behind the plate. I want to give some kudos to the coaching staff for Elder. Rob Thompson, who's the coach's son, he's the pitching coach, and Dad Mark says, hey, his son Rob has complete control of the pitching staff. John Dressman, who has the catchers, Tony Hesketh, who has the outfielders, and Brian Sweeter, who has the bench and is the bullpen coach. He really wanted those coaches to be pointed out because they give so much, and that was kind of the point of Mark Thompson today, that it was not about him, it was about everybody around him. Popped up. Off the right side, in play, shallow right. The second baseman gives way, and it gets past the right fielder, Jack Lambert, and safe over at second. Oh, out at second. It looked like the base umpire, Andy Dillman, was going to call safe, and then he put the out sign up.
Yeah, it was the classic 9-6 putout that you see in almost every ball game that you'll watch in your life. But yeah, just lost it up there in the lights, in that darkness. If it gets high enough above the lights, and yeah, he does ring him up. If it gets higher than the lights, you almost lose it. It almost goes into the abyss, and then you got to find it when it comes back down. They were lucky that they had the force out at second base.
Up and in, ball one to Huber. So I don't know, technically, nobody put a glove on that. That should technically be a hit, and the fielder's choice 9-6. So the second base hit of this inning, and this one catches the inner black, 1-1. Huber reached on a fielder's choice back in the fifth. Drove in the first run back in the third and flew out to right back in the first, and the toss back over to keep Richard in check. 1-1 the count. CJ the verbal to Ohio State. Ground ball down the line, off the third base bag and into left field. Here's Richard turning second, going to third, and it's a double to left.
Yeah, making nice play. Nice work of the field. Rips one down the line. Actually, the base probably saved a run from scoring for Elder. As Moeller, if that ball wouldn't have been slowed down from the base, it might have gone all the way down into the corner, and everyone would have been just running. Instead, we got runners on second and third and two away.
Third double for Huber, and a bouncing ball up the middle. Here's a long throw to first. It will not be in time. And the runner scores the insurance run, and Huber is caught up. Coming on back. They missed the tag on him. As Early heads to second, and now we have two runners in scoring position and a brand new score at 4-2. Mercy.
Yeah, just chaos on that play, and huge insurance for Moeller. As almost a fantastic play by Hilton. Did a good job at even fielding it. I didn't think he had a chance to glove it when it first was hit. Throws it across the infield, and then they had Huber out to dry, and you could just see a lot of standing around during that rundown. Just went a few throws too deep. The key to a rundown is, you want to get a guy out in 3 throws.
So fielder's choice and a called strike. Blaine Schmidt takes it, 0-1. And by the way, if you can recall the outplay, because I'm having a hard time recalling who made all the throws. That's where we're at. 0-1. And caught the outside corner, so says Jeff Bailey at home plate. 0-2.
Nobody was out on the play.
So I guess we're calling that an infield base hit. And I think that's just the way it's going to have to stand. And the bouncing ball to second. Hilton throws him out, but not without damage, and a brand new score here in Cincinnati as Moeller tacks on the insurance run, and we go to the bottom half of the 7th. 4-2 Moeller here on Chatterbox Live. Getting a look at that wide view of UC's baseball field. A beauty tonight that we're watching, both on the field and from our perch side view, along with Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. 4-2 in favor of Moeller as number 1 looks to hold on.
Yeah, Elder has the right part of the lineup up. 1, 2, 3, 2 up for Elder. You got to get 2 runs. Big insurance run by Moeller in the top half of the inning. But, you know, I said it earlier in the broadcast, I'll stick to it. You hang a crooked number, you're going to win this ball game. And if Elder hangs a crooked number here in the final frame that we'll see, they win it.
New pitcher out on the hill, 29, is Carson Marsh, the stopper on this team. 5'10", 165 pounds, a junior, right-hander. Making his 8th appearance, has pitched 13 innings, 13 base hits, 7 runs, 4 of them have been earned, 4 walks, 19 strikeouts. He's got a 1-1 record with a 2.15 earned run average and 2 saves. His last appearance, he had a tough one against Connor, an inning pitch giving up 4 hits, 6 runs, 3 of which were earned, a walk and a strikeout. So Marsh is on to close out this ball game and win this one for Max Tramontana, who pitched 6 strong. Gave up only 2 base hits, 2 runs, I believe only 1 of which of them were earned. And I'm going off the top of my head here. What, 4 walks and 8 strikeouts?
A lot of strikeouts and a fair amount of walks as well. But Elder has the right guy up. Leadoff guy, you're down 2 runs. Need to get the leadoff guy on.
And the first pitch is a called strike, so says Jeff Bailey at home plate. 0-1 to Kevin Hilton.
Such a big pitch. That first strike coming in relief is so important.
Fastball missing just off the plate outside, 1-1. Hilton at the plate 0 for 3, strikeout, ground out, though that was actually on a sacrifice to move up a runner and then a fly out back in the 5th. Ground ball to second. Toby Huber, 1 out.
Nice play by Huber. Hit right to him. Stood right on his heels. Fielded it cleanly. Delivered it over to first. And that's just such a big out. For Marsh, for Moeller, and more importantly, for the chances that Elder has to get back in this.
Jack Lambert to the plate, swings and misses. So actually he got a piece of it back to the screen, 0-1.
Now you're seeing when the fireballer comes out of the game, the hitters all of a sudden are a lot more eager in the box. They haven't seen pitches this slow, and they look like beach balls out there, even though it's still coming in with a little bit of velo.
He shows bunt back to the screen, and just like that, Jack Lambert is down 0-2. In terms of equal time, we did mention the assistant coaches for Elder. For Moeller, Jeff Keefe, David Sidrus, who's a pitching coach, Chris Booth, Kevin Manley, Russ Logue, and the video coordinators, Ian Bach. And that one rides high, 1-2. Lambert with Luke Vaughn waiting on deck, and, you know, should Lambert get on, that'll be an interesting at-bat with Vaughn. Swing and a miss. Lambert's down on strikes, and the final out represented by Luke Vaughn of Elder.
He's feeling it right now. A lot of confidence out there on the rubber. Vaughn's had a good day at the plate. We'll see if that continues.
strike one.
Yeah, big hack from Vaughn. Just came up empty. Marsh ahead in the count again.
Marsh will step off. Marsh working quickly. Here's the 0-1. It's in the air to center field. C.J. Richard ends this ball game. The final score tonight, 4-2, as Moeller holds on. Number one stays really in control of their own destiny in the GCL-South. 17-1. They are now 7-1 in conference. Elder falls to 10-6. They see their first loss in 6 games, and they drop to a record of 3-5 in conference.
So a big win for Moeller. You know, anytime that you can beat a team like Elder, especially at a neutral site when you're not at your home field, it's just such a big win. And what a great atmosphere. I mean, you're playing at UC's campus underneath the lights. Doesn't get much better than that.
We see Patrick Geshan down over at home plate. He's on your screen waiting for Tim Held, who has really managed a beautiful team here. And it looked like it was a pitching duel for a while there, and then they just scrapped across runs. You said it was a binary type game. They scrapped across runs in 4 different innings tonight.
It was undoubtedly a pitching game. A bunch of 1s and 0s hung up on the board. No one hung the crooked number. Moeller just had a little bit of a better pitching performance.
The win goes to Max Tramontana. The save to Carson Marsh. As we continue to wait, Tim Held's holding shop right now with the different media that's out here. And now we'll send it down to Patrick, who has Tim Held.
Coach Tim Held of Moeller. Coach, a pretty competitive game we saw tonight. A good game. What did it take for you guys to grab the win this evening?
Max Tramontana really was grinding things out. Wasn't sharp all the time, but got big outs when we needed to. And then our offense, I think we're comfortable. Didn't make me feel comfortable all the time, but comfortable enough to kind of score in different innings. And that's how we feel about our lineup. That doesn't matter who's up 1 through 9. We feel like we're strong all the way up and down. So throwing a bunch of different ones up there. You look at our lineup, it's a bunch of different guys that help contribute.
Another big winning streak right now for your team. What is your confidence level in this group as we kind of near the end of the regular season now?
Oh, these guys, they're ready. They'll take on anybody. They think they can beat anybody, and we're playing like that. And like I said, during the game, we have a lot of veterans, so it doesn't really rattle them. I probably feel worse when the game's close than what they do actually in it. So just a bunch of battle-tested players.
Coach, really appreciate your time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Guys.
Patrick, thank you very much. And thanks to Tim Held, who has just been gracious in victory as we've seen him all through the season. 17-1 are the Moeller Crusaders. They win tonight by a score of 4-2, pushing across 4 runs in separate innings. Elder falls to a record of 10-6. The win, as we had mentioned, to Max Tramontana. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. 1 of them were earned, 4 walks and 8 strikeouts. He picks up the win tonight, and for Max, that's win number 4 against 0 losses. Carson Marsh picks up his 3rd save. Partner, time for our headlines play of the night. What's your pick?
Certainly, I think that insurance run there in that 7th inning, I know it was a chaotic play, the ball that went up the middle, and they tried to score 2 runs in the rundown. But that insurance run just gave Moeller so much more confidence. I feel like they were playing on their heels going into that 6th inning. The strikeout, obviously, from Tramontana is in the 6th inning was another big one with runners on 2nd and 3rd. The tying run at 3rd base and the go-ahead run at 2nd. That play was just obviously huge, and that's what fed into the momentum, which let them get that insurance run in the top half of the 7th. But, just a great game all around by 2 of the best teams in the city.
Game only took 2 hours and 4 minutes. It felt like a fast game from start to finish.
Well, that's what you get when you get a pitcher's duel. There were a few walks from Moeller's behalf, but Elder played a pretty clean game. They had a couple of errors, but that just came from not striking many batters out. So they had to make a lot of nice plays in the field. They did a great job out there, but really just a lot of balls put in play, a lot of strikes, not a lot of large counts, and, it was a quick game.
So our play of the night, powered by Headline Sportswear, is the insurance run here in Cincinnati in the nightcap of our GCL-South double dip in this Reds High School Futures Showcase. Partner, as we put a wrapper to this one, Alex Riesenbeck, who started the ball game for for Elder, I think deserved a little better fate tonight. He did get pulled early, but he was in control of the ball game.
Yeah, I feel like that was something that they drew up before the game. They wouldn't have done that because there was no signs that he was going to be in trouble by any means. He probably was told by Coach Thompson, hey, give us what you got. The first sign of trouble that you get into, we're gonna yank you, unless it's obviously in the first or second inning. But we get to the middle part of this ball game, we got to go to a fresh arm. That's what they did. It didn't hurt them. Yeah, they lost 4-2, but when you give up 4 runs against Moeller, that puts you in the ball game. Right, one of the best team in the state. You're only allowing 4 teams against that offense. That keeps you in the ball game. So Elder did a good job in the field. Moeller just was the better team today, and it showed.
It certainly did. It was a fun one here at the ballpark here tonight for both games. We saw the first game, LaSalle win 4-1 as Nick Heffron went the distance on a complete game, and then of course we had a 2-run game here tonight. Partner, as we begin the wrap-up here and close up shop, I know we've got some big games coming up this weekend, but you're on vacation, right?
Yeah, I'm going out of town for a little bachelor party for my brother-in-law, so that'll be fun. I'm missing a couple of good games, but should be a nice little time off.
Well, we're going to miss you, and I know one of the games that we have on the docket, if I may say, I'm looking at you like if you're trying to read my mind and allowing me to say it, Baden and Ross, which is a Saturday night affair, and that's going to be at Alumni Field out in Fairfield, and I can't wait for that one in particular.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not there because I got too much stake in the game. I'm going to make some people unhappy either way, so I could have some fun with it.
So says Jimmy Nugent's best friend, right?
Sure.
Thanks, partner. We'll see you next week. And again, the final here in this one. 4-2, Moeller wins and moves on to 17-1. Elder falls to 10-6 here to close out the night. Thanks go out to our staff, to Mike Ackley, and to Alan Sims on video. Our producer, of course, Joe Meehan. Patrick Geshan was down on the field for us. And for my main man, Reid Mouse, I'm Geoff Kim. We also want to say thanks to Nathaniel Hipsley for taking anchor on the first game as well. Again, 4-2 the final. Moeller wins. We'll see you later this week. Good night.